Hello, everyone. Welcome to Maryville University. Maryville University's Online Transfer Credit Information Center session. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to participate. My name is Angelica Frias, and I will be your moderator for today. Before we begin, I have a few logistics I want to cover. First, you are in listen mode only, so the presentation is being broadcast through your speakers to avoid any background noise. Second, please feel free to ask questions as we go along. You can do so by typing into the Q&A box at the left side of your screen at any time throughout the session. If we do not get to your question today, an enrollment advisor will follow up with you. Third, you can watch the presentation on demand at any time using the link you used to register. We will also follow up with an email after the presentation. Finally, feel free to use the resource list located on the left side of your screen to save any links that you would like to use after the webinar. Now, what we will cover. Well, on today's agenda, we will introduce the presenters, then talk a little bit about Maryville and who we are, discuss both the important points and different types of transfer credits, review our online learning experience, navigate through the admission process, and then we'll conclude with a live question and answer session. First, let's meet our presenters. My name is Angelica Frias, like I mentioned before. I am an enrollment advisor at Maryville University. I've been in education for close to 14 years, so I'm hoping that I can be of some great assistance to you all. I'm now excited to also introduce Angelica Encarnacion, who is also an enrollment advisor for Maryville University. Angelica, would you mind sharing a little bit more about yourself?
Sure, thank you. Hi, everyone. So as Angelica mentioned, I'm Angelica Encarnacion. I've been in the education industry for going on 6 years now, with Maryville for 2.5 years, working with the healthcare programs as an admissions advisor. So I'm hoping to also be of assistance.
Great. Thank you so much, Angelica. Now we have Michelle Padillo, Student Records Evaluator for Maryville University. Michelle, would you mind sharing a little more about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Like you said, my name is Michelle, and I have also been in education for close to 14 years, so quite a while. Recently moving over to work with Maryville, so I'm very excited to work with you all today. And my job essentially as Student Records Evaluator is to work with students looking at their transcripts and articulating where that transfer credit would go within our university programs.
Great. Thank you so much, Michelle. You'll hear from both our presenters very soon. But first, we want to share a little more information about the history of Maryville with you before diving into details. Founded in 1872 in St. Louis, Missouri, Maryville University is one of the oldest private nonprofit universities in the U.S. We started out as one of the first universities in the region to educate women, and today we continue to push the boundaries and prepare students like all of you for a digital world. The university is regionally accredited by the Higher Learning Commission, which is recognized by the U.S. Department of Education, and is also a nationally ranked private college recognized for comprehensive and innovative education focused on student learning, outcomes, and success, both online and on campus. We have been recognized as America's Top Colleges by Forbes in 2018, Best Values in Private Colleges by Kiplinger's Personal Finance also in 2018. We're among the nation's top 4 fastest growing universities by the Chronicle of Higher Education in 2018. And we are a U.S. News and World Report ranked school, recognized as one of the best universities in the U.S. Maryville believes in disrupting the higher education system and has been doing so for nearly 150 years. We believe that this is why we continue to maintain numerous corporate partnerships and have been named an Apple Distinguished School, which highlights the university's enormous success in creating an innovative learning environment designed to engage students and support their academic achievement. We believe that learning is very personal, and as such, you should receive the support that you need every step of the way. We believe everything in the classroom should be challenging and everything outside of it should be easy. We pride ourselves on our supportive and attentive faculty and have also streamlined the admission process and offer personalized support throughout your educational journey. So let's go over some enrollment details. Our online enrollments continue to grow with each semester. As of September 12, 2018, per our student support group, our enrollments are approximately 9,350 students. The best part is the diversity amongst our student body. Currently, our students represent 50 states and 55 countries. Our students take advantage of our degrees at the undergraduate, master's, and doctoral levels, with over 50 online degree programs, which are 100% online, and over 115 on-campus degree programs. Now, this is a great time to discuss our next topic. Transfer Credits 101. Nearly 1/3 of first-time college students decide to transfer schools, according to the National Student Clearinghouse Research Center. The decision to transfer colleges is made for a variety of reasons. To discuss this in detail, Michelle will provide us an overview on understanding college credits.
So there's a few different reasons why students might choose to transfer schools. One reason might be some students start at a community college and maybe they plan to transfer later to university. Other students don't find that their school or program that fulfilling and they decide to transfer to a school that offers the new degree path of interest. For example, a student might decide to change their major and pursue a different program, but find out that it's not available at their current institution. So as a result, they transfer. Other students might just want to try the online format. Taking courses online can be much more convenient for a student who has other obligations, such as a full-time job or other responsibilities that might prevent them from being able to attend certain class times on campus. And this online format gives students flexibility and allows students to balance jobs and other responsibilities with school at times that work for them. It might also include students in the military, those who come from military households. These students move around frequently or have a schedule dependent upon military obligations. So switching to a college or university with online program options might be a great alternative for them, as an online format would allow those students to complete their degree from anywhere. Whatever your reason for seeking to transfer, the next step is understanding how many of your previously earned credits will transfer. You are considered a transfer student if you have taken college-level courses previously from a regionally accredited college or university. These courses might have been completed after graduating from high school or receiving a GED, or they might be college-level courses completed while you're in high school. You may also be considered a transfer student if you earned an associate or baccalaureate degree from an accredited school or university, and this could be an associate degree completed, and now you might want to move on to get your baccalaureate degree, or you might just want to get a second baccalaureate. Maryville University programs are comprised of 128 credit hours, with the exception of the Bachelor's of Science in Nursing Completion program, which is 129 credit hours. And all degree requirements must be met to earn the bachelor's degree. 60 of these credit hours must be completed at a four-year institution, and the last 30 credit hours must be taken at Maryville. Students must also complete at least half of the required major or minor credit hours at Maryville in order to fulfill the residency requirement. Maryville is a full disclosure institution, meaning we require complete academic honesty. We require all transcripts from each school attended, even if just one course was completed, and even if that credit is listed on another transcript that is being submitted. We want a full picture of academic history, but our admission decisions are based on a holistic approach. Your transferable credit hours are largely determined by where you are in your academic career. Credits from a regionally accredited school relevant to your major are typically considered for transfer at Maryville's discretion. There are a few different programs which are the most transfer friendly. These programs have flexible general education, major core requirements, and large elective pools where credit may transfer. Here's a quick overview of just a couple of these. The Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies is a great program for students who have completed lots of general education college coursework. The Bachelor of Arts in Organizational Leadership or the Bachelor of Arts in Psychology are both good programs for students who have transfer credit that may not be general education or discipline specific, such as vocational credit or military credit, and these are good program options for those interested in quick degree completion. The psychology program is great for students interested in the psychology field, and the organizational leadership program is great for students that might just want a more blended curriculum. The Bachelor of Business Administration is a good general program for students who want a degree in the College of Business, but have a wide variety of business credits, not in just one area, or other transfer credits that is not general education or discipline specific. Again, these credits might be vocational or military. Finally, the Bachelor of Arts in History, the Bachelor of Arts in International Studies, and the Bachelor of Arts in Sociology are transfer credit friendly programs for students who may not be career oriented, but are interested in more general fields.
Thank you so much for that, Michelle. Now that we have learned a little bit more about transfer credits, we want to discuss with you today what Maryville University can provide. At Maryville, we encourage student interaction and engagement. The small online class sizes allow for networking and development of relationships with not only fellow students, but also our distinguished faculty. Our programs are fully asynchronous, which offers flexibility for working professionals and is also accessible based on your convenience. This means that whether you would like to access your assignments at midnight or at 4 p.m., you have the opportunity to do so. That being said, you will have deadlines that are set, so time management skills will be necessary. Canvas is our learning management system, which is accessible 24 hours a day, and puts your course readings, articles, presentations, assignments, discussions, and other types of learning activities at your fingertips. Each student participates in an orientation webinar prior to the start of classes to learn more about this system. Finally, if you're always on the go or just find it easier to access emails, discussions, your syllabus, etc. from your phone, you can do that too. You can take learning anywhere you go. Students at Maryville also have access to a dedicated student support advisor. Everyone learns differently. That's why we provide you with support from a student advisor every step of the way. Together, we'll learn your strengths and develop a plan that fits your needs. Your future is a personalized path. Your education should be too. As an online student, you will be assigned a student support advisor to guide and assist you via the convenience of texting, email, or phone, from enrollment through graduation. These advisors are here to assist you with questions, encourage you as you face challenges, and connect you to the appropriate resources when you need them. You also have an online life coach team. Throughout your time at Maryville, a team of online life coaches will connect you to various academic, career, and campus resources. Your life coach team can support you with your academic and career needs to ensure your success during your time at Maryville and beyond. Whether it's discussing academic success strategies or engaging in career coaching, the online life coaches are there to support you. You also have 24-hour technical support. Our programs are 100% online, and as such, we want to ensure that you have access to support at any time of the day or night. Our technical support is available via phone, chat, or by submitting a ticket online. Students also have access to a smart thinking platform. You have 24/7 academic support available to you through Smart Thinking. This is a tutoring service that is offered online 24/7 to help you any day at any time. Smart Thinking is a tutoring service accessible from many of your Canvas courses. Our online tutoring provides you with easy access to expert tutors on demand or by appointment across a wide range of subjects. Lastly, you have the online library. Appointments may be scheduled with a dedicated librarian for a one-on-one consultation online, by phone, or in person. There's also a writing studio. You can also access writing resources that may help with developing a thesis statement, an introduction, a conclusion, conquering writer's block, and grammar and writing. There's Canvas tutorials and guides. You will have an opportunity to participate in a live tutorial, which will allow you to not only familiarize yourself with our learning platform, but also ask any questions that you may have pertaining to our online learning platform. All students become part of the My Maryville community. You may not be attending classes on campus, but as an online student at Maryville, you have a host of resources to help you succeed at every step of your educational journey. Whether it's offering academic success strategies or engaging in a resume review, mock interview, or career coaching, we have resources designed specifically for your needs. It is important to not forget your professors. Another great resource for questions on your assignments, your courses, your curriculum, your program, careers that you are considering, your professors are there to assist. We want to set you up for success, so please do not hesitate to ask us about the many other services that we offer.
Great, thank you so much, Angelica. So now that you know, or now that we know what you would have to access as a student, let's talk a little bit about the admissions process. We're going to cover requirements, transcripts, application tips, tuition, and financial aid. For those applying as a transfer student, the requirements include transcripts from all universities or colleges previously attended and or enrolled, a minimum of a 2.0 GPA. If the GPA is below a 2.0, you may be considered for admission on probation. There are no SAT or ACT exams required. If you have earned your associate's degree, this may satisfy your general education requirements. So it's very, very important to evaluate those transcripts. It is also important to note that the acceptance of transfer credits is entirely at the discretion of the registrar's office at the receiving institution. Our application process is easy and can be completed in 2 steps. Request your official transcripts. Your enrollment advisor is there to assist you in if you need additional help obtaining them. Electronic transcripts are always preferred. The second step is complete our free online application. The link provided here goes directly to the application. You can also access it by looking at the resource section on the left side of your screen. You will find a few resources, including the link to the application. Once again, there are no entrance exams, essays, or application fees to apply. 2 steps and you're done with the application process. We do have a few tips that we as enrollment advisors like to share. Number 1, get started early on requesting those transcripts. Some schools may take longer in processing your request and sending your transcript to Maryville. Therefore, you want to allow plenty of time to ensure that you meet the application deadline. Number 2, if you have or think you have less than 60 college credits, request your high school transcript. After high school, if you have attended or enrolled in any institution, those transcripts will be needed too. If you were in the military, those transcripts will be needed, as well as any test score reports. Your enrollment advisor may help request any of these if you need further assistance. Finally, number 3, although transcripts may be mailed or mailed by the institution, electronic transcripts are always preferred. Many times, these electronic transcripts may be found via Parchment, the most widely adopted digital credential service allowing students to request transcripts. This ensures it arrives quickly. If they do not offer electronic transcripts, they can be mailed to our off-site admission center. As mentioned earlier, you can access our online application on the left side of the screen under the Resources section. When prompted to indicate your student type, please select Undergraduate, Online/On Campus. It is the only online option available. An admission checklist may also be found in the Resource section. This will provide the requirements that have been listed today. Finally, if you need one-on-one time with an enrollment advisor, select Schedule an Appointment from the resource list to schedule an appointment with an enrollment advisor to discuss the admission process, financial aid options, transfer credits, program formats, and any other questions. They will provide a wealth of information and will be your main point of contact through the enrollment process up to the start of class. Now, many of you have been waiting for this section to be discussed. The cost per credit hour at Maryville University is $500 per credit. When speaking to your enrollment advisor, make sure to disclose your employer. If your employer is a corporate partner, there may be a discount applied. There is also a one-time $350 fee per semester. This fee covers your access to all services and resources, including technology, transcripts, and graduation. We do offer a few financial or financing options, helping students finance their education. Some of them include federal student loans and Pell Grants, monthly payment arrangements, employer tuition reimbursement or assistance, military benefits, aka GI bills, private student loans as well. Enrollment advisors discuss these options in further depth with each student based on their specific interests and situation. So at this time, I would like to answer some questions, or we would like to answer some questions that may have come up through our chat room. As we're going through these questions, please do not hesitate to continue adding more. This will be your time to obtain further clarification. So we're going to go through some of these questions that have come through. And as mentioned earlier, if the question is not answered, please know that we will reach out to you at a later time. First question is, do we use books and how do we order them? Books will, it will be determined by your professor as to whether or not they are providing or they are requesting books for that specific course. You will know at least 2 weeks prior to the start of classes based on your syllabus and your list of assignments, which will be accessible to you. You will know whether or not books are needed. If so, you have an opportunity to access those books through our Maryville bookstore, or if you choose to purchase books outside of Maryville, you do have that opportunity to do that as well. Let's see, we have another question. Is it required to have an associate's before we transfer? Michelle, would you mind taking that one?
Hi, good question. No, it is not required to have an associate's degree before transferring. You can come in with any amount of credits, and that will be applied directly towards your degree. The only difference is the amount of coursework that is left for completion.
Great, thank you so much. Here's another one related to transcripts or transfer credits. So what do you mean by military transcripts?
Sure. So for students who have been in the military, let's say, for instance, you were in the Army, that training is actually evaluated by the American Council on Education, and they generate a transcript that includes all of your training, and some of that training can be eligible to be transferred into your program, depending on the program and the training that was completed.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, so there's another one that's similar to the one about, whether or not an associate's degree is needed, but we'll make sure to cover this just to clarify any confusion. The question is, so must you have 60 credits from another institution in order to transfer?
So you do not need a certain amount of credit to transfer over. You can come in with any amount of coursework completed. All it means is that once you do enroll, we have your transcripts, we'll do a thorough evaluation of the credit coming in, and anywhere that credit can be applied, we will apply it through your program, and that will just leave the remaining coursework for you to complete. So there is no required amount of credit that has to be completed prior to coming in.
Great. All right, these are fantastic questions. Let's see, let's check out our next one. It has been 40 years since I've been in school. Can I start off with one class to get my feet wet? So you do have that opportunity to do so. Those are circumstances that we can speak to each student about. In this case, we would probably be looking at the student as a part-time student. So please know that that is something that is possible. And many times we encourage it, especially if it's been a while since you've been in school. And this way, again, you can get your feet wet, you can get acclimated to our school, our platform, the way our classes are set up, things like that. So we highly recommend that many times. So to answer that question, yes, you do have that opportunity to take one class at a time. Okay. The next question is, what is your tuition for online programs? Angelica, do you want to take that one?
Sure. So as we discussed before, currently the tuition at Maryville is $500 per credit hour. You also have a one fee per semester of $350.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay. Next question is, will I get a student ID card? Those typically are, we'll issue those by request. So if you would like to request a student ID card, we can definitely, again, put in that request and have one sent over. But typically we'll have those available to students, especially if they're looking to visit the campus, which is open to all students. So if you live near the St. Louis area or happen to find yourself in that area at any given point, please feel free to stop by the campus. It's a great campus, and we would love to see you there. Okay. Next question is, do professors design their own curriculum or work within a pre-existing framework? So we do typically have a framework that is listed per class, but it will be determined by the professor as far as like their expertise. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll add a lot of what they, a lot of them are masters and experts in their field, right? So they have, a lot of them hold PhDs, terminal degrees, so higher learning degrees. And a lot of them are working in their field of study right now too. So a lot of them will add a lot of what they're currently doing into the curriculum as they see fit as well. But please know that for each class, typically there will be some framework so that this way you know, or each student that's going through the program is receiving the same type of curriculum as well. Alrighty. Next question, when would I know if I had any previous credits transferred? Like if I took a math class already?
Sure, good question. So once we receive all of your transcripts, we can then do an evaluation and give you a pretty good idea of where that credit is going to be transferred into and the remaining courses that you'll need to complete.
Alrighty, fantastic, thank you. All right, let's look at some of the others here. So the next question is, who are some of your corporate partners for which students would qualify for a tuition discount. So we do work with a variety of corporate partners, so to list them all right now might be quite a bit. So what we highly suggest is that when you're speaking to your enrollment advisor, they will ask, typically you'll be asked where you work and all of that, specifically because we want to see if there's any of those discounts that we may be able to apply. So if for whatever reason your advisor doesn't ask that question, make sure that you're bringing it up yourself, so that this way they can look that up and let you know if your employer is part of that partnership. So great question. Will I have access to the library and other resources at the physical Maryville University campus in St. Louis? So that's a fantastic question. As I mentioned before, you will have an opportunity to visit our campus and take advantage of the resources that are made available to our students on campus. So if you ever find yourself there, please make sure to take advantage of that. On top of that, Angelica had brought up some of the resources made available to all of you. So once accepted into the program, we will ask that you take advantage of all those resources. So Smart Thinking, your advisors, your writing resources, the research librarians, I mean, an array of different resources, so we want to make sure that you are taking advantage of that. And if there's something that may not have been listed that you feel you might need, another question or another topic that you might want to bring up to your enrollment advisor as well, so that they can discuss how we address those needs as well. Alrighty, let's see. Question I see is, what if the overall GPA is not a 2.0? What are the options available then? So in this case, it seems that this, for this particular individual, it would be for a healthcare program. So in this case, I would probably, actually, Angelica, would you mind sharing a little bit more information on that?
Sure. So it really depends on the program. If you're looking into the Bachelor's in Healthcare Administration, it has a hard requirement of a 2.5. On the other hand, we have the General Studies Healthcare program that has the lower 2.0 GPA requirement. So if you are going into the General Studies program and your overall GPA falls, a little below the requirement, you are still able to move forward, writing an addendum, explaining to the admissions committee the situation, what might have caused your GPA to fall below the requirement. It is up to the admissions committee to review that and accept it and admit it, but you have the opportunity to be admitted on probation, which basically means that you have to maintain your GPA at a 2.0 level by your first semester to be able to continue.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, here's another one. They ask, how many credits do you need to take in order to be considered full-time? You want to take that one?
Sure. So at Maryville University, to be considered full-time, you're taking, at least 6 credits in one semester. The maximum amount of credits you can take in one full semester after your first semester is 12. You take 8-week classes. So if you take 12 credits in one semester, that gives you 2 classes at a time. You have the opportunity to do 9 credits, which would give you 1 class, one term, 2 classes the other term. If you do 6 credits in one semester, it's 1 class at a time. Part-time at that point will be less than 6 credits. So at that point, you're building your schedule with your student advisor. So that is very individual. Your first full semester as a new student at Maryville, we try to keep you at no more than 9 credits, help you transition into the school. It's a new environment, so we want to make sure that you are comfortable and successful. After that first semester, you can increase to the maximum of 12 if you wish to do so.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, I have another one here. Michelle, if you could help me out with this one. It asks, I have just received an associate's degree in Florida about 3 months ago. How long does it usually take to know if your school will accept my completed coursework to start in the bachelor's program?
Sure. So Maryville typically considers coursework completed for a regionally accredited school during the time it was completed for transferring into the program. And the amount of time it takes will kind of depend on the student. It would depend on when you enrolled and when you were able to get us all the college transcripts. And once we had all that information, we would be able to do an evaluation as quickly as possible for you.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, I have another question here. It asks, how long do these degrees take to complete if you do not have an associate's degree or have little transfer credits? Well, if we're looking at 0 credits, if you're coming in as a true freshman, it all depends on whether or not you are attending full-time or part-time. So Angelica had brought up, what that actually means, how many credits you would need to take in order to be considered full-time or part-time. There's a lot that goes into that. We would, as advisors, would like to talk to each student to make sure that if you want to attend full-time, that is something that will be feasible. There are recommended hours that we provide to students depending on whether or not they're taking 1 class versus 2 classes at a time. So that can have a lot to do with it. If you are coming in with transfer credits, again, like we mentioned earlier on, we would need to review transcripts and see how many of those credits may actually transfer over, and based on any remaining number of credits, once again, depending on what's remaining, we would see, can you attend full-time or part-time? That has a lot to do with it. So we can see someone graduating as quickly as 4 years, possibly even 3 years if they have transfer credits, or as long as 6 or 7 years if they're going part-time, right? So in this case, it all depends on you, your schedule, what your current situation looks like, what you're coming in with. So another area that you would want to speak to with your enrollment advisor so that they can give you a clear idea as to what to expect. Let's see. Are there any exams and or quizzes for online courses? That will depend on, so the answer is yes, there may be some exams and quizzes. It all depends on how the syllabus is set up for that class, whether or not your professor is asking for, again, those exams or quizzes, if they're asking for projects to be completed, papers, things like that. But for the most part, yes, there will be exams and quizzes made available for each one of you online. Most of the time they will be timed, and you will be provided a lot more information pertaining as to what goes into those exams and quizzes prior to. Next question, you want to take that? Are you guaranteed acceptance if you have a 2.0 or higher? Is there anything else that that can lead to a rejected application?
That's a good question. I mean, if you meet the admissions criteria, you can be confident that you would be admitted into the program. There are no hidden, requirements that come out. Your enrollment advisor will disclose everything that is required for the program. So again, if you meet all of the admissions requirements, you can be confident that you'll be a good candidate for the program, and the admissions committee will see that.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. This one actually goes kind of alongside that, except that it's on the opposite spectrum, where are people with less than a 2.0 previous GPA from another institution even considered for acceptance? I was going through a lot in a couple years ago where the GPA was not great, but I am ready to get back in the game, so to speak, and get on the right path. You want to speak to that too?
Sure. So one thing to note with this is that it really depends on the program. There are some programs that are a little more strict with the GPA requirement. Only very specific ones, I believe mainly it is some of the healthcare programs. But the majority of programs do have that 2.0 requirement. Maryville likes to give students an opportunity to, move forward and be successful in school. If you are going through the application process and we receive all transcripts and your overall GPA falls below that 2.0 requirement, as I stated before, you can still move forward with writing an addendum or a statement for the admissions committee to review. In that statement, you're explaining your situation, what happened before that could have caused your GPA to fall below the requirement. You can explain what's different now. How are you going to make sure that you're going to maintain your GPA at that 2.0 level or above at Maryville University. Again, the admissions committee likes to give students chances so you can have the opportunity to enroll on probation, and at that point show how, things are different now and you're going to maintain your GPA. So the answer to that is, yes, you have the opportunity to still move forward, but again, just depends on the program you're looking into.
Alrighty, fantastic. Thank you so much. Alrighty, let's see if we can find any more questions here. There is a question, am I limited to online classes, or can I also take in-person classes at the St. Louis campus? So we do have hybrid opportunities. Typically for those, we will have you set up with an advisor on our ground campus so that they can help you enroll for our ground campus, and then set you up for online classes as well if there are those classes available. So there is that opportunity to do a hybrid. It would just be through an advisor through our campus directly, as opposed to an online advisor. All right, let's see. Next question is, do we have to attend full-time to receive financial aid? Also, will it affect my standing in the program if I have to switch to part-time? So for financial aid, typically what we see is that students need to have at least 6 credits per semester. So anything less than 6 credits, financial aid will not cover at an undergraduate level. So super, super important to be able to register or enroll at least as a part-time student, which would be, again, those 6 credits, or a full-time student, which would be 12 credits. So you do have that opportunity to go part-time or full-time. Financial aid, of course, helping out with that if you qualify for financial aid. As far as it affecting your standing in the program, it won't necessarily affect the program, but it may affect how much is actually being awarded, part-time versus full-time. So we do have financial aid advisors who would be able to provide further information pertaining to that, seeing as how each student is a little bit different with their qualifications and what they're actually awarded. So this would be another thing that we would want to make sure that we cover with your enrollment advisor, and make sure that we connect you with a financial aid advisor to cover this in more detail. Are there any other fees other than the one-time fee and tuition? So aside from the $500 cost per credit, as well as the $350 semester fee, there should not be any other fees that are assigned or associated with the degree. The only other thing that is, once again, that was brought up before that is not included will be books. and that is something that gives you an opportunity to purchase books either through our Maryville bookstore, or you have opportunities to purchase books outside of Maryville as well. So hopefully that answers individual's question. Let's see. Question is, what's the acceptance process and or registration process once transfer of credits is complete?
If I'm understanding the question correctly, I'll try to answer it clearly. As far as the acceptance process, once we have all of your documents in, that includes your enrollment application and all of the needed transcripts, you are submitted for review. At that point, we're just giving the admissions committee time to review that application. Typically, they review those depending on, how many applications they have on record to go over, between 5 to 7 business days. At the same time, your official credit evaluation is being completed. Once you have been admitted or fully admitted, we provide you with the results of your official credit evaluation. From there, you're completing all the necessary documents as an accepted student to open up registration and orientation and all that good stuff. Maryville automatically registers you for your first semester following your degree plan, and then you are able to self-register every other semester after that.
Great, fantastic. Thank you so much.
So in terms of, we had a question regarding military transcripts. Does it have to be official, or can I get a copy and mail to you? We can certainly evaluate unofficial transcripts as a tentative evaluation, but we do need all official transcripts, which includes military. It's just treated just like a regular college transcript in order to award that credit. Official means it cannot go through the student's hands. It does have to be sealed and sent directly to the school to be considered official and have credit awarded.
Great, thank you so much. And that's another, just to kind of add on to that, you will once again have the opportunity to speak to your enrollment advisor. They will also be able to assist you in providing you links or whatever is necessary in order for you to request those military transcripts. The next question is, I live on the West Coast. Would you have staff other than the 24/7 tech support available to help me on the evenings? So we do have advisors who are available late evenings throughout the week. So typically we are able to service students on the West Coast. We actually do that quite a bit already. So please know that throughout the application process, the enrollment process, and moving forward, you will have opportunities to schedule appointments and to have advisors reach out to you during evening hours. Typically, the latest will be somewhere around like maybe 6 or 6:30, but we can definitely work on that. There are times when advisors will also be in the office on Saturdays. So if there is a specific weekend that you're available and that advisor is going to be available during that Saturday, highly recommend scheduling those appointments and taking advantage of that time. Alrighty. Next question is, so you can't go above the 12 credit limit. So to answer that, yes and no. So yes, in the sense that there are exceptions that can be made. In these cases, typically the student needs to show that they can handle the, above 12 credits, so above 4 classes each semester. So typically the program director for that specific program will ask the student to write or provide a letter of some sort explaining why or how they feel that they are prepared to take over 4 classes. If that program director agrees and accepts, the student does have that opportunity to take above those 4 classes or 12 credits. But again, it's something where they need to see whether or not you are capable, especially if, for example, if you have other commitments, if you're working, are dedicating time to other commitments in general. They want to make sure that you are able to dedicate enough time for each class and make sure that your grades are not suffering or anything like that. So we want to make sure that that is our main concern is making sure that you're doing well in classes. So it is possible for sure, but it is case by case. All right. Next question is, are all classes only 8 weeks long? So for the most part, yes. There will be some courses that are stretched out. Typically, it'll be more so your core classes. Some of your final courses, for example, like if it's a capstone or an internship, a lot of times those may run 16 weeks long. But for the most part, classes will run 8 weeks long. So it's a lot of work to do in a very short period of time, hence the reason why, again, we're always looking for a certain amount of hours to be dedicated for each class in order for a student to be successful. Again, something else that you and your enrollment advisor will be able to further discuss. All right, we're going to take a couple more questions. Let's see. We will cover, the next question was, when does the next semester start and the deadline for the application? We will actually cover that in just a second, so I promise that that will be something that we will cover, like I said, in like one of the next few topics that we cover. So I just wanted to make sure that I let you know that. Let's see. Next question is, if all the classes are 8 weeks long, does that mean you can take classes every 8 weeks throughout the year, or is it still broken into 2 semesters?
So you have the typical 3 semesters in the year, spring, summer, and fall. Each semester has 2 8-week terms. So the semesters are pretty much split into 2. So you are taking classes, pretty back-to-back every 8-week term.
Alrighty, fantastic. Thank you. Alrighty. So just to be respectful of everyone's time, there are a few more questions that we do have, but again, please know that we will answer these questions personally, so that this way no one goes with any question unanswered. So I do want to thank everyone who has submitted a question. This will close the Q&A portion.